This is a clouds weather alert.
Meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center at 11:15 on this Thursday morning here, tracking a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Clay, Putnam, and St. John's here in our area, where we could have some considerable wind damage. So we need to go ahead and zoom on in here. You can see this area that's included does cover their zones. It looks like parts of Green Cove Springs, the Wargop Village, Picolata, Georges Lake, and Bakersfield. At 11:09, a severe thunderstorm was located near Georges Lake, or 13 miles southwest of Green Cove Springs, moving northeast at 55 miles an hour. So, just really tracking this here for you. Again, a severe thunderstorm warning until 11:30, where there could be some considerable wind damage. Let's go ahead and zoom on in here right now. You can see some greens and reds showing up. But in theory here, this right here would be where you have some of the stronger winds, looking at the one direction velocity here, because those would kind of match up with the heaviest convection, maybe on the southern flank here. So just got to be really careful. There's also a tornado possible tag as well. In fact, we just got an update on this warning, so I may see it trim back a little bit. I know as you watch the progression of this, there was some weak rotation showing up, I know, indoor parts of Alachua, parts of Putnam County. I'm backing this up even further here. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. But now here's the latest look here at velocity. We're tracking this here carefully for you. Again, some pretty nasty winds here in Clay County. Moving on up toward the north and east here. So just got to be really careful as the situation does progress. So again, a severe thunderstorm warning here is in play until about 11:30 this morning. So let's go ahead and keep looking at things here. We're just going to keep watching them, trying to give you the very latest. Let's go ahead and keep looking here through all the different scans. I know it's all about protecting you, your friends, and your family. Maybe not quite as impressive as it was a minute ago. I'll back it up on one direction velocity and kind of say you can see here we had some blues showing up, really indicative of 70-mile-an-hour winds, maybe trying to get down to the surface, but still could have some of that here as we look there northwest of Bostwick. So again, gotta be careful here as they're continuing this here. Still keep getting updates on this. So again, we're watching this in the other severe thunderstorm warning that stayed outside of our viewing area, but somebody was asking about Spring Hill earlier on. Well, just kind of right now looking there more about Citrus County with the worst of this, but Crystal River, Homosassa Springs, some nasty weather down that way with gusts to about 60 miles an hour a possibility. So again, that's kind of the storyline there right now. I know we haven't been popping on for many of the severe thunderstorm warnings here today locally, but this one in Clay, Putnam, and St. John's is a higher end one where we could have considerable damage. We don't get those too often around here, so just got to be kind of careful. Again, considerable damage a possibility. So again, just something to really be mindful of here as the situation does evolve. Let me go ahead and keep looking at things here. You can see southwest of St. Augustine, we're seeing some greens there on the radar for some stronger winds as well, but the worst of it's further back toward the west here around Sun Garden. That's where some of the worst of this wind is right now. Eventually be crossing I-95 and toward areas further of St. Johns County. So right now it's more about Clay and Putnam though. So that's kind of the storyline right there and right now. Again, just trying to give you the very latest. Trying to keep you safe and informed here. That's why we're on the air right now, to try to make sure you do kind of have an understanding of what is happening. So I'm just keep going through some stuff here. Again, I'm just trying to let you guys know the whole storyline. I know we have some other storms across our area here too. Bradford County, some pretty heavy rain. In fact, hear that thunder in the background where we're at here in Bradford County, around 3:01 there. I know you're getting some of this, so just be careful. But In Duval County, it may be rain. We had some damage in Nassau, not a formal warning, but this pattern kind of can knock down a power line here or there, even with the strong winds. And then looking toward the south again, not as much in some of these spots. Gainesville's getting pretty heavy rain, but the worst is definitely out ahead of this. And that is indoor parts of Clay, Putnam, and St. John's are still going with 70-mile-an-hour winds. With this warning, a little bit of maybe tightening rotation now around Sun Garden, yeah. That's tightening up a bit here, so we got to see if they issue a tornado warning here in short order. But at 11:20, if a thunderstorm was in the vicinity of Green Cove Springs, at least more towards Sun Garden with the worst of it. Moving northeast at 55 miles an hour. Green Cove Springs, Ward, Golf Village, Piccolata, Bakersville under this. I know we have the tornado watch in place, so we got to remain alert for possible tornadoes. Now, we're not too far away from needing a tornado warning on this storm. But we're also, I mean, if the winds come down a little, we're not too far away from not even having a severe thunderstorm warning, because it'd be hard to get some of this down to the surface here in some of these overall situations. So it's kind of tricky. Definitely kind of tricky here this morning. And I'm not really seeing any debris. It didn't look like. I'll look one more time. Yeah, that's not really matching up yet, but we're going to keep looking. I know there's all sorts of different reports from earlier out toward the west side. There's some wind damage or flooding across the road, like in even Madison County. So that's kind of interesting to touch on there. As we're looking at some different things, as we're trying to give you the latest. I know it's just important to try to make sure you guys have exactly what you need here to protect you, your friends, and your family. So again, I just kind of keep looking at things here. You see around 301 in Bradford County some lightning, but no severe warning out there like we have toward parts of Clay, Putnam, and St. John's, where there's a chance of some considerable wind damage. So again, we're just going to have to keep looking at things here, keep monitoring them. You see Sun Garden. Again, that's where we're looking at things right now. You can see that little appendage there as we continue to track. We're just going to try to make sure here that we give you the latest. Just going through all the different updates here coming in. Very important to kind of get an idea of what's happening. Again, you get the idea of what we're tracking here in southern Clay County, northern Putnam County. And I'm hearing rain come down here in Bradford County, pretty heavy. We'll look at our camera real quick. No severe weather here. It's dark right now, but we'll go ahead and kind of pop it up here. Let me take off our super thunderstorm warning information too, since we're not under a warning here. Yeah, look at that wind and rain though. Definitely telling a story. I know it's a little bright, but just the overall pattern there can cause that to an extent. So continue to look at things, continue to give you the latest. Again, going back to the Doppler radar now, you can see that notch here. Again, around Sun Garden, watching some of that rotation, going to be crossing over US 17 here in short order. So just got to be mindful of that. I know you just don't want to really be crossing that stretch of the road right now. There in toward that part of the region, northern Putnam, southern Clay counties. Just got to be really careful, really mindful of what we're doing. As I continue to look at things. Just trying to keep you safe here. Just trying to update you guys on things. Very important. Again, it's 11:25. That rotation's starting to pick up just a little bit here. Our shear marker popping on the screen. So So that might be a sign of some things to come here. We'll have to just kind of wait and see here. Just kind of be mindful of what we're dealing with. Oh, they're going to have to issue, I think they're going to have to go with a tornado warning, folks. That just is tightening up right now in front of us. This is a current scan right now. We may get a tornado down here, folks, on US 17. I would be really surprised if we don't get a tornado warning here in very short order now. It's almost time to issue a new warning anyway, and that looks like that's something that's really setting up. And then maybe rotation trying to get down to the surface here. And not a debris signature, but just that really tightened up there. We'll see what maybe what the next scan says that they don't issue first. But I mean, this scan just came out, so they're probably getting that box ready and about to hit that issue button there. So again, I mean, we're seeing winds of about 50 one way now, about 25 the other way. So that's winds about 75. Now I will say that it's not as gate to gate in a small fashion as it could be, but I think there's enough there. I know the angles are kind of weird on radar sometimes, but we'll at least get an extension to the severe warning. But I think they'll probably go with a tornado warning. To be quite honest here, that's what I think I would have to do here right now. Right now, if I was in charge of issuing, I know you see that shear marker and you see that rotation really starting to pick up there around Sun Garden. Again, some pretty nasty weather here that we're monitoring. Just trying to give you the very latest. You see US 17 here. Some very nasty winds here. This is not too far away from the St. Johns River. Again, wouldn't be surprised if we get a tornado warning here on this in short order. We thank you so much for tuning in and trusting me here on this Thursday morning here, this April 11th, 2024. Again, we're watching this very carefully here. This is about 3,000 feet off the ground radar. Okay, they decided not to go with a tornado warning, but another severe thunderstorm warning for 70-mile-an-hour winds and a tornado possible tag. I'm going to check some other radars here just to see how this looks aloft. I mean, you don't see it there, but it's not going to matter too much. Yeah, that's tightening up even more. I'm really kind of surprised they're not going with something more on this. Let me go ahead and check some different layers. And the angles can be deceiving on this part of the radar sometimes, but again, a little bit of a notch there about to cross the St. John. Sometimes you can get things to kind of spin up a little bit more when you're in that vicinity anyway. So this is a warning to 11:45, severe thunderstorm warning, but again, I would not be surprised if we get something more out of this. So at 11:27, a severe thunderstorm is located near Picolata or near Greek Cove Springs, moving northeast at 50 miles an hour, central St. Johns and east central Clay counties. So for another 17 minutes, we've seen Augustine, Green Cove Springs, Wardcroft Village, St. Augustine Beach here, Nocatee, Durbin, Villano Beach, Picolata, South Ponte Vedra, and St. Augustine Shores. So we're just going to keep looking at things here. Again, trying to give you the latest. Again, some pretty tight rotation. I know, I mean, it's not in a way where it's just like 1 pixel to 1 pixel. It's kind of broad in a way, even though it's really kind of strong. So that maybe is why they decided not to issue a tornado warning, but still, this is still pretty nasty looking. 50 miles an hour going toward the radar, 30 going away. So that's 80 miles an hour worth of rotation in here right now. It's just crossed over US 17. This is in Clay County still, but it'll be on the banks of the St. Johns River here soon. Tornado warning. Okay, yeah, I knew that was coming. I mean, you get that type of signature around here, they're going to have to issue, and that's what they just did. So, okay, we just got a tornado warning. The box will pop up here in just a second. We've had some different tornado warnings further out. Technically, they weren't in the Jacksonville TV market, but this is a tornado warning now for parts of Clay and St. Johns counties until 11:45. At 11:29, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Picolata or 8 miles south of Green Cove Springs, moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. So we have a tornado warning now for Clay and St. John's. Again, you need to take shelter here immediately. Get into your room, away from windows. Just really get as many walls between you and the outside as possible, and even put a football helmet on, a bicycle helmet on, or a baseball helmet on to protect yourself from flying debris that could occur. Make sure your shoes are on as well in the aftermath of a tornado, as you don't want to cut your feet up here. So a tornado warning. I know that box is kind of small overall in geography and geographical detail wise, but we have Piccolata and Wardgoff Village here under this tornado warning. Just real quick, we got a new severe thunderstorm warning for southern Levy that just popped up. A very sparse southern Levy. I know I'll take off our tornado warning information for a second. This is very far southern Levy, like just Inglis there. Pretty much that goes until noon, but more for Citrus Fernando and Sumter down there. But again, a tornado warning now. A tornado warning, folks. We could have a tornado on the ground at any point here in the ward parts of our area with this storm. Again, you have the rotation here on the Doppler. Again, just trying to give you the very latest here to protect you, your friends, and your family. So, again, some nasty stuff here. Some nasty stuff. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located over Piccolata, or 8 miles southeast of Green Cove Springs. Again, you need to be taking your tornado precautions immediately here now. Again, this storm was more about wind damage, but now it could be more about a spin-up type tornado occurrence. So there's your latest polygon. Again, a tornado warning now for parts of Clay and St. John's until 11:45 here this morning. So you gotta take this seriously. Nothing's been confirmed, but you definitely have to take this seriously here, as we are looking at things, as we're trying to give you just the very latest here to keep you guys safe. I know greens and reds going together here, always a concern. So again, that's what we're down with right now. We have that radar indicated rotation here on the Doppler technology. I know that's something that we're tracking here. We just want to make sure you guys are staying safe out there when you have stuff like this setting on up. Again, a tornado warning here is in play. So again, we're just going to have to keep on monitoring this here. Again, you have that red box, Clay and St. John's. Seek Southern Time at 30 billion. You don't want to be in a mobile home in this type of situation here. I know those are not places you want to be here if you can avoid them in a scenario like this. I see out ahead of all this, we just got a gust of over 45 or so miles an hour at St. Augustine Airport, but a tornado warning back behind. If this were to hold together, then looking just at the overall track of this would get it very close to St. Augustine here, probably before the lunch hours. So again, I gotta be really careful about that. It would cross I-95 here. So again, a tornado warning. At 11:31, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located over Piccolata, or 8 miles southeast of Green Cove Springs, moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. So again, watching this carefully here, trying to give you guys the very latest. Again, we have a possible tornado about to cross to St. John's. In theory, it'd be a water spout for a moment if it was actually down, but okay, so this is where we're at right there, right over to St. John now, right near County Road 13. So they just canceled out Clay County now, but 9 miles southeast of Green Cove Springs, moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. That's kind of what we're dealing with right now. Again, a tornado warning here, folks. So we don't want to deal with these, but that's what we're dealing with right now here in parts of St. Johns County. Again, they just canceled out Clay County, but St. Johns County, you're under a tornado warning here until 11:45. Again, Doppler radar indicated rotation. I know we have different things. We have the Clay County Fair going on in Green Cove, but down here to the south and to the east here is we have the tornado warning. We just got a considerable warning now for Ocala until noon as things kind of heat up a little. Let's go to Tampa radar. Jacksonville office now saying 70-mile-an-hour wind, a possibility in the Ward Marion County. Some of this wind coming out of Citrus County, trying to become a problem here, unfortunately. So that's something we got to deal with there. But let's get back to the tornado warning for St. Johns County here until 11:45. The warning from areas till 12 with a severe thunderstorm warning for particularly in St. Johns until 11:45 as well, though. I would think we'd at least get an extension on that a little bit further along in the timeline if we don't get a tornado warning extension. But right now, all signs, if this were to hold together, would point to a extension of the tornado warning. So again, just continuing to watch things here, continuing to give you the latest. Let me zoom out so you can kind of get your bearings here on this. Again, a tornado warning here for parts of St. Johns County. Make sure you guys take shelter here. This is some nasty stuff. Continuing to give you the latest here. Let me check for debris again. It's hard to say in there, quite honestly, which at least is good in a way. I mean, it's not something really defined, really definitive. But we're just going to keep on looking here. Let me keep on looking at some things. I'm going to zoom back out a bit. Again, we're trying to keep you safe. Again, looking back out toward north central Florida. You can see here we have some accident like Alachua and Bradford. That's a little bit heavy, but this is a warning now for Marion. That really is indicative of some stronger winds maybe coming into Ocala over the next little bit. But this is the worst of the concern here in St. Johns County. We have this rotation here to be eventually crossing over I-95. So you gotta take shelter there in towards St. Johns County. Again, doesn't include St. Augustine, doesn't include I-95 yet, but that could change here if this does get extended. So again, a tornado warning for St. Johns County right now until 11:45 this morning. Just going through everything here. We're just trying to make sure you guys know exactly what's going on. I know it's very important to kind of get an idea here. Everything is happening minute by minute. And we continue to watch the scenario. Just got to be real careful here. Again, you have that gate-to-gate rotation. Got to take shelter. Let me zoom back out. We have that 70-mile-an-hour wind warning for Marion County. Let me just go down to the Tampa radar because that's the one that says it's a little bit closer. So it gives us a better view of what might be happening at the ground level. So in theory, this is more like 60-mile-an-hour winds in a lot of the areas, maybe more like 70 down here, but Tampa went with a warning for 60, so it's a little bit tricky, but let's just say 60 to 70 here, and it's going to be maybe headed up toward Bellevue here over the next little bit. So got to keep watching that. I got to keep monitoring that. Again, just continuing to watch. Just trying to keep you guys safe out there. You see the greens and reds coming together. Is that debris? It's hard to say, quite honestly. I don't know if it actually matches up. We'll check because the timestamps are matching up pretty good. And it's hard to say. I mean, could be something there, but it's not definitive. Again, looking at St. Johns County, starting to get into some more population out here, even though you don't have a lot of towns that just show up right off, but you saw some structures out there. I know we have to just be careful. This is near Piccolata. We have Ward Golf Village. We have Bakersville. I know Just going to keep looking at things here. Keep monitoring them. Again, we have a tornado warning for St. Johns County until 11:45. A little bit weaker on the rotation, but it's still pretty strong. You see it was stronger back toward the south and west, though. But again, we have a tornado warning. This wind, at least, even if it's not to be a tornadic cell once it gets there, this wind will be headed toward Volano Beach, St. Augustine there next little bit, somewhere toward maybe St. Augustine Airport even. Maybe even clip South Ponte Vedra Beach, depending on the exact movement. But you kind of get the idea. Just a heads up for you guys out that way. I know you're going to thunderstorm warning to 11:45, but probably at least get an extension of that if we don't get an extension of the tornado warning. So, again, we're on the air right now for a tornado warning mainly. I know we came on for the wind damage type thread, and then I have one toward Marion County as well. But tornado warning here now for St. Johns County for another 4 minutes. Again, a possible tornado here west of I-95. So, again, just going to keep on looking at things here. Keep on tracking. I mean, that's still enough to probably maintain a tornado warning further east in my assessment. We're just going to keep watching. We're going to keep tracking here. That's a little broader right there. But we're just going to keep looking. Trying to give you the latest. Yeah, that could be something, quite honestly. I'm going to try to check the co-location of this again. It's hard to say because the timestamps match up good, and it looks like it's a little out ahead. Okay, new tornado warning further. Yeah, that very well could be a tornado debris signature. Not going confirmed, though. It's not definitive enough, I don't think, but it's a bit thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Ward Goff Village, or 11 miles east of Green Cove Springs, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour is what we have now, with a new tornado warning until noon that gets us out of the coast. Okay, so here you go. There it is on the other source. I get a new tornado warning until noon. So now this includes a lot more population. At 11:41, a storm here, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. Ward Goff Village will be affected here in the next few minutes, at least close to that area. South Ponte Vedra and Volano Beach around 11:55, and other locations impacted by the thunderstorm include Anastasia, Bakersville, and South Ponte Vedra Beach. So, rotation tracker, you can see how it really came together. So, let's just kind of watch this. I'll try to track it on off here. And that takes you there close to the St. Augustine Airport up towards South Ponte Vedra. Volano's kind of in there too. So maybe more those areas toward the airport in St. Augustine. Volano Beach, South Ponte Vedra versus downtown St. Augustine. But downtown is still under a tornado warning. So you still got to take precautions here. Again, let me go ahead and keep watching. Yeah, that looks more like debris there, but yeah, I think we got a tornado on the ground. I mean, I don't think it would show up quite like that. I mean, they haven't confirmed it yet. The way that showed up there was kind of weird, though. That last one looked more definitive. So I think that's really matching up now. And it's kind of tricky. They're not calling it yet. And it's one of those where I can't really say. It could be just some hail even showing up in there, but they may call it that. It's tricky because it looks like it could be just a tad displaced still. But you know what? We need to try to get a camera shot of this here. I-95 north of State Road 16. Let me see if I can get a camera shot of what's going on here. I-95 north of State Road 16. Just bear with me. I'm trying to effort something like that. I'd be close to the premium outlets then. So let's see here. I want to make sure I get the best camera. Yeah, let's say right near the outlets anyway. I'm trying to get that up for you. Okay, it's kind of hard to see much here, but I'll show it. Just bear with me. Again, there's the view right now. Again, trying to give you the latest here. You can't really see much right now in this shot. Mile marker 319, 995, but we'll keep uploading some shots here. Let me cut away from that. Okay, the outlet area, their camera isn't coming up right now. At least it doesn't look like it. We'll try maybe a couple others. Okay, they're now saying it is confirmed. Okay, they want to say tornado on the ground here then. So I think they were seeing what I was seeing. Let me see if this is radar confirmed or if this is actually confirmed maybe from a visual sighting. We'll zoom out just a tad. Okay, they're calling this radar confirmed now. And the way that was showing up, I have a tendency to think that's probably what's going on there. Oh yeah, that's more definitive now. That's a pretty nasty debris signature for this part of our area. We don't get that very often. This is a confirmed tornado near the Ward Golf Village, and it's coming back across I-95. I wonder if it's really still touching down or not, because the rotation has weakened a little, but we need to try to get a camera here. Again, State Road 6995, again, just trying to my best here, because it's just a one-man band, but again, I mean, this is some pretty populated areas here that we're talking about. I'm just going to keep checking some of the cameras behind the scene to see if we can see this. Because that is a tornado that was on the ground at least a moment ago. Okay, let's pull this camera up. See if there's anything here. We'll try to just effort some different shots here out of this area. Okay, so it's hard to say exactly, but just got to take shelter here right now in St. Johns County. A tornado warning. A confirmed tornado in St. Johns County, my friends. We have a debris signature that's pretty evident on radar now. There may be some type of lowering where we're looking at this moment. I'm going to keep watching this here and some other camera shots, but let's get back to Doppler. I want to see how far the way that debris signature is popping up makes me think it's gotten pretty high up here, which would indicate maybe a stronger tornado. Ooh, yeah, that's over 5,000 feet. Yikes, over 8,000 feet around there? That might be a pretty significant tornado we just had here, and it may still be in progress. A lot of times stuff doesn't end up coming to the ground there in that part of the region, but that may be a life-threatening tornado that we've had or may still have on the ground here. You've got to take shelter here. St. Johns County. Okay, they're saying this is a large and extremely dangerous tornado now over toward Golf Village or Tin Mud, northwest of St. Augustine. A large tornado on the ground here in St. Johns County, according to the Weather Service. You really have to take this seriously, my friends. A particularly dangerous situation now. A large tornado in progress here. I'm trying to get camera shots again. See if we can see something. I'm going to check toward the Buc-ee's here. I know I may be just north, possibly. I'm trying to get my bearings here. I may be just north of where this tornado could be. But again, a nasty situation here. It's blinding downpours up there. So let's go ahead and see that camera shot. It's very rare to have a large tornado on the ground on the First Coast. But here's that look, International Golf Parkway there. Okay, we're going to try to move down a little bit. We're going to try to move down here just a little bit. I'm going to check all the different cameras here. Again, a large tornado on the ground in St. Johns County. That is wording I do not have to use here very often. Large tornado. Okay, I'm looking into this side. I don't see too much Just going to keep going here, see if we can catch this crossing the interstate. Be interesting, obviously, but it would be frightening here now. The shot we had of the cloud kind of going away now because of the rain. Okay, but there you go. I'm going to keep looking. Bear with me. It could be kind of rain wrapped to some degree here. It looks like some traffic jam setting up here on I-95 mile marker 320.8. Looks like folks having to go really slow out there. Again, we have a particularly dangerous situation, folks. This is very serious in St. Johns County. Again, indications of a large tornado in progress here. That debris signature, we were wondering if that was a debris signature for a while. And then it became evident, very evident, that it was. Not what you want to see. Not what you want to see here at all. Again, a large and extremely dangerous tornado there toward Goff Village. Let me go ahead and pull up our other view here real quick. I-95 there at 16, you can see the clouds more than anything. It's hard to really make out anything on this shot, but just give you that perspective there too. A Florida 511 look, but let's get back to radar. Okay, it's crossed over the interstate, whatever it was. As we'll kind of track this here and kind of move it. Let's scrub back. I mean, now it looks like it's kind of weakened the rotation, but that debris looks like, that looks like even a lofted debris pattern now, folks. I'm curious. I want to see what the Melbourne or maybe Moody. It might have to be Moody. Let's see if their radar picked up on this. I know it'd be kind of far for theirs. Yeah, look at that. Oh, wow. Yeah, look at that. That's almost unbelievable. It takes my breath away here, folks. The Vedoster radar even picking up on this large tornado toward I-95 here, moving up towards South Ponte Vedra Beach in that vicinity anyway. We're not sure if it's still on the ground, but let's check the Melbourne radar. Yeah, I think that even picked up on it at 16,000 feet. This may be one of the stronger tornadoes we've had on the First Coast in a long time. The way some of our debris trackers are showing things here. Because that's clearly tornadic debris now. It makes me think it might not be down as much because it's not completely matching up. You can't take that chance. You got to take South Ponte Vedra Beach to Volano Beach because this could be still very serious. This looks like a lofted debris pattern you see more in the Midwest. Again, this is a type of tornado that could have caused extensive damage and maybe life-threatening type of damage here, folks, in towards St. Johns County. Again, you do not get debris like that around here ever. And toward the First Coast region, I am almost stunned by what we have just seen here. I mean, debris going over 15,000 feet, it would appear here in St. Johns County. That's indicative of an EF2, EF3 type tornado. We hope, and I'm thinking right now, you got to still take shelter, but I'm thinking it may not be down in the moment. But we have just that type of debris is indicative of a very strong tornado. Again, there's your EF scale. We're talking about considerable to severe damage here. You do not get that around St. Johns County very often. Again, this has developed very rapidly here to some degree, and that we weren't getting warnings for a while. We were under a tornado watch. We did have it kind of, I mean, you had the thunderstorm warning, so it wasn't like just completely catching you off guard. But, I mean, this wasn't something we were just tracking all across the area with the warnings. I mean, it's something that's very serious, folks, and I hope and pray. I mean, this was near some neighborhoods out there. I know they don't really show up in terms of city names, but I really hope folks are okay. This is a type of tornado that can take lives away. We have not seen a deadly tornado in the Jacksonville TV market in over 15 years, and I really hope and pray this wasn't that one, because that is very serious debris here. I mean, that it's not a current tornado, so what you see here, this was just so bad, it picked up debris, and it may be dropping it down now. It may literally be dropping down the debris here, because it just picked it up here. It may be kind of around Hilton there. You may be getting pieces of trees falling out of the sky here in towards St. Johns County. Again, very serious. You just don't get this around here, folks. Now, they just updated this warning. I think they're still going considerable. But again, I'm not 100% sure if this is still really on the ground. You still got to take shelter. But I mean, that is very, very, very rare for area. I mean, to get debris that high up. I mean, that's a debris fallout signature where you have maybe pieces of trees, pieces of roofs here that the storm kind of picked up and now it's dropping them back down. You don't get that on the First Coast. I'm not sure. We've seen this in other parts of our area, but I am not sure if I've seen this here in years. Again, it's been over 15 years since we've had a deadly tornado on the First Coast, or that was Lake City, but toward the Jacksonville TV market. So, again, this is not a current tornado, I don't think, because you wouldn't have the signature like that. But this is some very serious stuff, folks. Hey, I'm stunned how this set up that quickly here. I mean, we do have some of the parameters out, so maybe it shouldn't be as stunning here. If the storms took advantage of these parameters here, then that's what could kind of happen, but that's still a little bit over the top here. I suspect we're going to have severe damage in St. Johns County. I mean, that is a horrible fallout signature for our area. I am not sure if I've ever seen anything like that in our northern Florida counties in all my years. I mean, that is just horrible. We weren't sure at first that was actually a debris signature, but it's a very, very bad debris signature, folks. It was kind of not co-located at first, but again, I'm just trying to give you the latest here. Again, I'm going to check some more sources. I mean, this is very serious. Again, I mean, literally, this is a debris fallout signature we've been tracking here. You just don't get this around here, folks. You do not get this in our neck of the woods. I mean, this is stunning. I mean, I hope that we got lucky to just hit trees out here, but I mean, there were, let's see, if we'll try to see where this really started, and I have a bad feeling. I'm just gonna, yeah, right down in here is where it started, I think, hidden stuff, and that's homes. And that might be a pretty nice area there in terms of some high-priced homes even. So, I mean, obviously every home is important, and we just have to be really mindful here of what's going on. But this is something that could have caused millions of dollars, millions and millions of dollars worth of damage here in St. Johns County. So, again, very serious stuff. Again, that's a debris fallout signature because this was a monster tornado here. I'm pretty sure. We're just going to keep effort and information here. Again, this is really bad what we have just seen here set up. I mean, you don't get this around here very often. I mean, this is a debris fallout signature on the First Coast here. I mean, this is what you get in the Midwest from tornadoes like what you've seen, like, I mean, around, I don't want to say more directly. Let's made up a different example than those tornadoes in East Alabama that killed so many people a few years ago, 2019. This is what you got there. You had things that's being picked up here, and now they're being dropped back down. We're more than likely seeing pieces of trees. I mean, sometimes you can even get like people's checks here being picked up, and then now they're being taken back down to the ground here out of their homes from east of Durban and Hilton. So you don't want to see that here at all. Again, this has got to be one of the worst ones I've ever seen here in our northern Florida counties. I mean, this is stunning here how this is set up. Again, a debris fallout signature. I mean, the rotation's pretty much gone away with that. So I feel like the tornado is no longer down. We need to get to Miriam because we have some severe thunderstorm warning there. So we're talking about 70-mile-an-hour winds possible toward Ocala still. That's definitely something to be mindful of. Granted, we've had some pretty gusty winds today, even outside of severe thunderstorms. So really, it would take a tornado like what we just saw to have major, just, you know, over-the-top type damage here, like what I think we just had in St. Johns County. I mean, I'm gonna have to check this again. I mean, the Melbourne radar picking up on a tornado debris signature. I mean, in St. Johns County is just something I don't know if I've ever seen. Again, I don't mean to overhype this here, but I just suspect this is going to be some of the worst damage we've had in the Jacksonville TV market from a tornado in many years. I mean, we had debris over 16,000 feet, folks, And if you look at the stats, that means like an EF2, EF3 type tornado, which we just don't get here toward the Jacksonville TV market. This was indicative of a debris of 16,000 feet there in St. Johns County. That is a very strong tornado. I mean, I'll even look to see if we even got any higher than that. Let me kind of, it's going to take a second here, so bear with me. I think it did. That's debris over 20,000 feet. That is stunning, folks. Again, I'm going to check our studies on this because we don't have to deal with this stuff around here very often. But let's check the debris signature correlation here. Again, really serious stuff. I just want to kind of see here because there's certain statistics you can kind of use. I know our gate-to-gate wasn't up there as much, and maybe that's with the angle of the radar, but I just wanted to kind of check here because there's certain heights here. I just want to make sure because we don't generally talk about heights as a high per se. So over 20,000 feet on a debris signature around here is almost really unheard of. I'm just trying to get an idea here. I mean, I haven't had to talk about this around here very much. Okay, here we go. That's what I was looking for. A study on this. Well, technically, I mean, I don't know if we had to gate for it, but technically that can indicate an EF4 type tornado. But I don't know if we quite had to gate for that. But this could have been an EF3 tornado in St. Johns County, which again is just almost shocking here. I mean, that is just something that you don't even talk about really as being much of a possibility in this part of our area. We didn't even have too many warnings here overall. I mean, toward east, we had a lot of bad weather. Of course, we had a terrible flash flood emergency toward Tallahassee. The tornado warning's gone now, by the way. We'll take that off the screen. But we had that terrible flash flood emergency toward Tallahassee last night. But this may have been even worse in terms of damage to homes and really even lives. It's not out of the question. That way that developed here. Again, it was a confirmed tornado near the Ward Goff Village. This is very serious stuff, folks. Again, over the top type of damage is what I would expect to see here. Folks talking about Pinellas County, you have some wind and rain possibly down there. Let's see. I'll look out on the view. Yeah, some that's starting to come into the view. There's a severe thunderstorm warning down there now. It would seem pretty big area of that. Okay, so you see that toward Tampa, and you see our warning in Marion. That's the only one we have locally right now. We'll stick with it a little longer because, well, that's something that could produce 70-mile-an-hour winds, no doubt. But I want to try to figure out what just happened there in St. Johns County. If it's as bad as it looked there, I mean, this could be something where we're really in for a big cleanup process here. I mean, your supercell composites there, we just weren't getting everything to kind of mix enough. I guess we just had enough instability in a coastal county like that to overlap to get a big problem on our hands. So, again, it's going to be about trying to figure out how bad this damage was in towards St. Johns County. Again, we just don't see that here in our area. Again, I'm efforting information to see what just really happened down there. Because that's some of the worst damage that, I mean, that we might have had around here in a long time. Again, this is really serious. Let me go ahead and keep looking. I mean, we was a debris ball here, folks, in our area. You just don't get that. I mean, that is just not good. It may still take a little while to kind of get folks up to date on exactly what happened down there in terms of the damage, but I'd be shocked if we didn't have major damage down there. You just don't get that here, folks. Let me keep looking. See if we're hearing anything from St. Johns County Emergency Management. Okay, it might be more about the comments, actually. Looks like some damage toward a community called Trail Mark. I don't see just a whole bunch, maybe. As I'm looking at this behind the scenes, yeah, some damage, but that's not anything like what we might have had. I'm hoping somehow maybe it was just a bunch of trees that got picked up, but that would seem unlikely. You don't get a signature like that if it's just a bunch of trees here generally. I mean, maybe we got lucky and that's what we generally had, but this is not right in Jacksonville, so it's going to take a few minutes to really know what really happened. So, got to be kind of patient here because this could have been something that was pretty serious. I mean, I'd be surprised if it wasn't. Again, going to keep efforting some things here. Again, really serious damage in St. Johns County. I mean, that's what it had to have been based on that type of debris signature. I'll loop it around for you. We started seeing it, and they weren't confirming it. I wasn't sure at first either because that was a weird looking signature for our area, to be quite honest, the way it's set up, and then it became clear that we had something massive here on our hands. So you can kind of see, we still have the fallout signature. I mean, there could still be, in theory, pieces, and I'll go to the end of this. There could still be pieces of like roofs or pieces of trees that are still little limbs maybe falling out of the storm axe in here. I was going to say the word sawgrass, I kind of think it might be more over the water now, but with that. But again, this is not what you want to see around here. This segment really causing problems. I kind of think most of that would be over the water now for getting anything like that. But that was, because that was a fallout signature again. You just don't get that around here. So it hit something and it did a lot of damage, whether it just really caused massive tree damage. We would hope it's just that and somehow it didn't impact neighborhoods. But I kind of suspect here in St. Johns County that we had something. I mean, you just don't get that type of signature without really massive damage. I mean, that is down there. I mean, this is in the neighborhood. You can tell. I mean, these are homes down here. Unless we somehow got lucky and it wasn't hidden the homes. I mean, it would have to take a miracle. I mean, if it didn't hit some of these homes in here. I mean, it's not completely, populated. There are some woods in between. It would seem that this map may be a little behind in terms of like the things. Some of these neighborhoods are growing so quick. Stuff's being built. It's probably not even showing up here on our geographic look here, our map and background at this point because it's such a fast-growing area. But again, at least parts of St. Johns County. But again, just trying to let you guys know here what's going on. Do have this warning continuing from Marion. Could be winds of 70 miles an hour down here. So you got to be really careful. Could knock out some power. Let's check power in St. John. That could be a good indicator here. There's a tornado warning for Pasco now, by the way, outside of our area, but we'll say that to you. Okay, so around Pasco County, some rotation coming ashore there. Newport Richey, Port Richey, that area. So takes out, that's till 12:30 down that way. But let's check power outage numbers because that could help us out, get an idea of what's going on here. Just bear with me. Again, we're tracking it all for you here in the Weather Center. And I'm just going to kind of go through some stuff here for St. John's. See what we can find in terms of outages because that'll update a little quicker than maybe just the overall reports. But it's not like we're right in Jacksonville with it, or even right in St. Augustine. It's kind of an outlying area a bit, even though there's quite a bit of communities, it would seem, in there now. I'm going to check some different maps here. We're going to look. Again, that debris signature is very severe. The gate-to-gate one, as crazy as it could have indicated a strong tornado, but the debris would generally mean it was something, more likely. Just kind of looking here at power outage information. I'm seeing 392 customers out, which isn't a whole bunch. 217, another area there in St. John. So we'll see. I mean, unless it just somehow hit a whole bunch of trees. I mean, we had debris. It was a very significant tornado. Whether maybe we got lucky and we didn't have the damage to all the homes, but I would be really surprised if we did get that lucky, because you don't generally get I mean, that lucky here with something that significant looking. Again, we're just gonna go ahead and keep looking here, see if there's anything new. Just kind of check here. Again, obviously we had a tornado on the ground in there. I know there's some other indications that maybe it was more of a situation where the debris didn't go. Maybe it didn't go up to about maybe 20,000 feet, but it sure looked like it on some other radar views, at least over 10,000. I mean, I kind of think probably more than that, as we've talked about. Even over 10,000 feet would be a strong tornado with winds well over 100 miles an hour. Again, Weather Service, they'll be out there to assess the damage, whether it's later today or tomorrow, get an idea of what happened. But we're still in the very early stages of this. So tornado watch is in the process, about to show up as being trimmed back now to Bradford, Alachua, Baker, Duval. That's good news, obviously, but these areas in the yellow further south and east are still under 3. See the tornado warning north of Tampa here. I just got to keep watching that. I know we've gotten about 2/3 of an inch of rain here today, east of Stark, by the way. That's kind of the storyline there. As we keep looking, keep tracking. Again, trying to give you the latest here. Now, there's some strong winds showing up on velocity there in toward Marion County, Ocala, Bellevue area. Watching that. Not seeing some of the sensors pick it up, but again, when you have wind mode, that's something that you can't verify because the sun wind's higher up. But when you have debris mode, so what we just saw, we had some type of significant tornado in there in St. John's. Again, that's something you just don't really see around here at all. Maybe again we got lucky and it didn't hit many or any homes in there, but I'd kind of be again surprised if that was the case, because the debris, it could have just been a whole bunch of trees that got knocked down. And when I say knocked down, I mean it literally pieces of them have to be picked up. But again, I'm just continuing to watch this here, continuing to track. So again, we're just going to keep looking here, trying to figure out exactly what might have happened in St. John's. Okay, we're just trying to get through some information. Bear with me here. You see a new advisory toward parts of, it looks like, areas in the Melbourne jurisdiction, their Weather Service area. Just trying to get the latest here. Okay, so WGXT is now reporting St. Johns County Fire Rescue is reporting damage in the Trailmark subdivision off of International Golf Parkway west of I-95, where several homes were damaged, but so far at least, no reports of injuries. It's very preliminary, very early, I would say, but again, that's coming in. Let me check their reporting directly then. See if there's more that St. Johns County Fire Rescue has on this. See if there's pictures or anything, because that might be something, depending on where they're coming from, may be able to use. But okay, I don't see anything directly from them yet. But again, on my Facebook, seeing that coming in from media reports. Okay, it's 12:15. For the moment, we don't have a new severe thunderstorm warning, though I think they'd have to at least issue an advisory on this, if they're not going to issue a new warning. I know, if it's more of a base warning, we'll probably just go ahead and go back to radar mode. It's kind of been, with just the way the pattern has been for hours and hours, I mean, we'll just kind of leave the radar up for some of this one. If it's just base severe, it's a situation where, I mean, you're still having damage and stuff that's not getting warnings. But when you have more considerable warnings, classified emergencies, or a PDS tornado warning, or just any tornado warning, we have to be here with you to guide you through the situation. So, again, just continuing to track things here. That does look like some pretty strong wind now. It is showing up further aloft, so we don't know exactly what's going on. But okay, so I think right now we're going to wrap it, since we don't have local active warnings. I mean, that warning, severe warning, not in for Levy anymore. We do have a tornado warning down in the Tampa region. They're going to move into toward Jasmine as a state, at least close by Bayonet Point. Tornado warning for Pasco County till 12:30. You gotta, especially the coast areas, you gotta watch, because this is where we have more parameters maybe in play, stuff to get down to the surface. So that's something they're watching down there. And new tornado warning for Pinellas now. Okay, let's go. It's not in our area, but we're about to see that pop up. So let's see what's going on there. Okay, so new tornado warning for Pinellas. Is that area there? I'm curious. I guess we're about to find out. It just came out near Harbor Bluffs, or 7 miles northwest of Seminole. Moving northeast at 35 miles an hour. Again, watching stuff in west central Florida here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, that's a tornado warning that does include Clearwater and Dunedin and Oldsmore. So some really populated areas in there until 12:45. That's something that the local stations down there will be covering. But of course, we've had to cover our troubles here today with that large tornado apparently in St. John's, and the flash flood emergency in Tallahassee. Two things that are pretty unheard of around here in a day where, I mean, we could have had, I mean, there's a lot of flooding reports toward the west, but I mean, it could have been worse in other areas. But that is very serious. I mean, it kind of skipped over Stark with any type of warning acts, and but I mean, to have those type of things happen on the same day, whether it's earlier on or later, that's pretty mind-boggling. A flash flood emergency in Tallahassee, a PDS tornado warning for St. John's. I mean, those are 8 hours apart. So, okay, that's gonna do it for now. We're gonna leave the radar up. If we need to pop back in, we will open those, start another stream. We'll do that. But for now, thanks so much for tuning in and trusting me. I'm meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center. Keep it tuned here, and we'll keep you advised as needed. Meteorologist Casey Cloud popping back on the live stream here at 12:35. You can see here we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect here for parts of it looks like Flagler, Marion, and Putnam. Now it was a base warning when it first got issued, but now they're saying maybe considerable wind damage a possibility. When I say they, I'm talking about the National Weather Service in Jacksonville. So just going to look at this here for a bit. You can see around Pearson, just west of Pearson out there, just outside of the viewing area. The Melbourne office also saying 70-mile-an-hour winds. There is some weak rotation down here as well. I know that is in Volusia County, but that's pushing up into parts of Putnam and Flagler especially, it looks like. And the rotation might be more in Marion County. So, yeah, that looks like that's tightening up into being something here. May end up needing a tornado running here pretty soon and may have to switch speeds possibly. We'll kind of figure out how we want to do that, but we'll just kind of see how things are progressing. We may just stay on this stream depending on how things kind of develop with this, but seeing some greens and reds starting to come together there in eastern Marion, and that'll get into southern Putnam, but first it's going to be in Volusia and then getting in toward Flagler there ultimately. That's where it'll probably be the longest, especially if it's holding together. So that's a heads up for you guys. Already significant damage in St. Johns County from a tornadic scenario here, as it would seem about an hour or so ago. And I'm looking at this here, and this is right there. It looks like right there over a lake. So, I mean, we're talking about that's just outside of our area with the worst of that right now. So what we're going to do, we're going to keep monitoring things, and we'll break back in as needed or start a new stream even. It may just go to a new one if we need to. Right now, the worst of that's just outside of the area. That's technically in Volusia County. I know it's kind of weird, but let's have a tornado warning outside of the area in toward Pinellas County. Doesn't look as tight on that look at things right now, which is good, but we'll keep watching. We'll keep on tracking here. We're going to keep watching things again. That's technically in Volusia, so it's going to be in there for at least maybe 10 minutes, let's say. And we'll see. Maybe it'll weaken before it gets back into our area, but just be on guard there, especially Putnam and Flagler. We got to pay attention here to this, and we're back as necessary here to give you guys the latest. Keep it tuned to Cloud Weather. We'll keep you guys up to date. Let me see if there's any questions or comments here real quick. Just going to go over to the other source, and right now, looks like, yeah, folks talking about how high that debris was earlier in St. John's. It was definitely very serious. We're going to keep you guys updated here as the day goes on, as I know that tornado warning in Pinellas just went away. No active tornado warnings across the country at the moment, but that storm in Volusia, which is going to get back into our area, very well could get one. So we'll be here watching. We'll be here tracking. Meteorologist Casey Cloud back here in the Weather Center right now, seeing a tornadic situation develop in the southern fringes of our viewing area. And technically, right now, the circulation's in Volusia County, but it's going to move back up in toward our area here. We're talking about Flagler and Putnam. So, going to be a few minutes before I get to know our area. Let me go ahead and switch some things over. You can see that's very tight rotation now in toward Volusia County right now. So we're going to have to kind of move through areas closer toward Sellville there. But once it starts to get back into our area, well, that's when we're going to be on our other stream. So I'm about to switch over now for tornado coverage. So we'll be back in just a few minutes as we track a tornado warning for Flagler and Putnam. Right now, the worst of this in Volusia County, just outside of the area. But Flagler and Putnam going to be in that area of concern here as we look ahead. So keep it tuned to our different social media outlets here for the latest, as well as tornado coverage here as we look at things there on everything like Facebook, Twitter/X, YouTube, there, Twitch, and the website.